bit sassy, a little bit crazy, a little bit classy. We got dreams and we got goals. We're just a couple of old sassholes.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Yeah. Welcome to A Couple of Sassholes podcast. I'm Brooklyn Johnson.
And I'm Mother Terry.
And this is our power hour of true crime where we talk about fucked up people doing fucked up shit, usually for fucked up reasons or sometimes for no reasons at all.
That's right.
Because people are fucked up.
Man, do you cuss or no?
No.
Okay.
Never.
I didn't think so.
I remember getting in trouble all the time for cussing. And I was like,
gosh.
Dwayne, Mona, military parents. My dad's every other word is a cuss word. I'm like, dude, I came out the womb being like, fuck.
Do you remember when you could buy CDs at Walmart and like the singles, like for 99 cents? So I got Jagged Little Pill, Alanis Morissette, which our producer Jess doesn't know who that is, so it makes me feel ancient. But anyway.
Wow, that just fucked my day up.
Right. It had the little explicit warning on it. And I remember my dad being like, hey, you promised me you're not going to cuss, right? Aww. And now, here I am.
I talked to my dad about coming to the live event. And he was like, no, I don't think so. And I was like, please don't. I was like, you know what? I said that your dad always comes. And I was like, Heather can talk about it. But I swear to you, Dad, if you were in, I could not. I could not. And he was like, good. I was like, I also think you would absolutely hate it. He hates true crime. And he does not care when I talk about sexual things or dicks.
Really?
Or cuss.
That's weird.
I know.
My dad, okay, he has put up with a lot of shit from me over the years. So I asked him if it makes him uncomfortable. He goes, nothing surprises me anymore. That's all he said.
His chi is so much different than my dad's chi. Like they're just such different human beings. I think it's precious that he can, and I don't get nervous around Jerry talking about that shit.
Right.
So anyway.
Yeah.
Fun facts.
That is a fun fact. You want to know another fun fact?
Yes.
So I got my Her Did today by Sarah Long. And
Sarah Long, we love you.
We do. And she was talking and she goes, I said, my contacts are bothering me, which is why I have my glasses on because I had to rip them out. And she goes, are you going to take them out? Let me have them when you're done. And I go, no, I'm going to throw them away. She used to, listen, this is the weirdest thing. This is the weirdest thing.
I'm not ready for this. Did you ask her if you could talk about this on the podcast?
I told her. I didn't ask her. I told her. No. Okay. First of all, I'm going to point at the camera when I say this. This is based on true events, but I may embellish a tad. But the core messaging is true events. So here we go. Sarah says her sister Emily used to take her contacts out, and when she was done with them, instead she would throw them away. Sarah would get them out, put them in water and or contact solution, and use them and play with them as pets. It's the weirdest thing I've ever heard, and I laughed for 20 minutes straight. And I said, text me that so I don't forget. And when I walked out the door of the salon, all my phone said was contact pets. She would play with her sister's used contact lenses. And I said, I was an only child, and that's weird to me.
Dude, that just reminded me of what things number one, that is fucking weird.
Right?
Sarah, I love you.
She thought they were pets, and when they dried out, she would throw them away.
That makes I used to do that with the little things that you would stick on top of your pencils.
Oh, like the troll dolls and shit?
Yeah, but the little woogly things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
No, her shit's weird. Sarah, I feel a little bit different about you.
I can't stop laughing. I mean, I've giggled about it 8 times, and I've been dying to tell you, and I only found out 2 hours ago.
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Sarah had contact pets and played with her sister's dirty contacts.
She would just poke at them?
She said she would poke at them. She'd take them out, and she named them and shit. And I was like, what's the weirdest thing that, I'm a big collector of things because I just like random shit. And I used to collect troll dolls.
I never, no.
And I don't know, other weird shit. Jones soda bottles. Because the photos on them. I don't know. That's weird. At least I didn't play with dirty contacts. Love you, Sarah, but anyway.
Wow.
I had to share that story.
My only thing of when you were do you have banter? I was like, yes, I do. I'm just, and mine is so dumb. I was just what I want to know is how people lose a shoe. And the reason I have to say this is I have been driving regularly, as one does, and I keep seeing a random shoe.
I saw two today.
Yes. We probably passed the same shoes.
Was it black?
Yes. Like a Nike. I'm like, why?
Who loses just one?
And I would understand losing said shoe if it was like the summertime and maybe they're on the back of a pickup truck because we're in fucking Kentucky and shit happens. But I never understand.
It's
I never get it. And it's always in the middle of a busy street.
Right.
So it's not like it fell out in a Walmart parking lot when you got out and it was in the back.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's like
either.
people take off their shoe and throw them out the fucking window.
It's like, you know what? There's a hole in this one. This one. There's a rock in here and I'm not fucking with it. Like
I don't understand.
That is weird. I don't get that either. I thought it's weird that you said that because I thought it the exact same thing. Because it's not like they were trying to walk across
it's just
a freeway
the middle,
and they ran out of their shoe and they're like, I can't get it. I'm going to get hit. Like it was by a stoplight.
I don't understand.
I don't get it either.
If you've ever lost a shoe
Right.
on a street,
Right.
not a parking lot, we would like to know.
Yes. And we need to know how, what, when, where, and why.
And what kind of shoe?
Yeah. Yes.
Left or right?
Left or right.
I want to know. I'm fucking confused.
Me too.
I don't have anything else though.
Yeah.
Besides reminding everyone
Yes.
that if you're in our tri-state area, that we do have a live event coming up.
We do.
It's probably like 5 minutes away from when this is going to be airing. So don't forget, February 16th.
That's right.
National Side Chick Day. Bring your side chick. I swear, dude, in Miami, there was like National Side Chick Day.
I was like-
so it was like the 14th is Valentine's Day. That's when you take your wife. 13th, 15th, or 16th, National Side Chick Day.
That's hilarious.
So you
That's
take
like-
your other bitches going.
We call it Galentine's.
Yes, and do not forget it's not Galentine's. That's when you hang out with your girlfriends, not your side pieces. They deserve a good dinner too.
In another town with dark sunglasses
in Miami,
on.
you never have to. There's so many restaurants. Like, what are the odds? Anyway, but don't forget, we need you to do the free thing, which is like, rate, review, subscribe. If you like an episode, you like our outfit, you like the way our hair looks that day, you should probably fucking share it. Share it on the socials. Yeah. Everyone be out there fucking all willy-nilly sharing and posting shit. Share our shit.
Yeah, share our shit.
Please.
Hashtag share our shit.
Yeah. Sorry for being aggressive about it.
No, I'm not.
This green tea's
I'm not
slapping.
It's slapping?
It's slapping.
I love it. I love that when we first started, we used to like get drunk. And now she's like, this is my green tea with positive vibes. And we used to be like, we're going to try this canned wine. And by the end, we're like, how are we getting home?
This is such a good wine. Let me tell you a story. Says then he wins. He runs out back door.
And then I'm like, you like it in the back door. And you're like, shut up, I'm trying to talk.
I know.
And now you're like, this is my green tea out of my positive vibes cup.
Well, this is Jess's.
Yeah, either way.
It's Jess's tea.
I feel
and
very
then
positive.
also Drew's water. So really I came and I brought nothing. And I was like, I would like some tea. And look at that, I got some.
Speaking of tea, you want me to spill some?
Oh my gosh. Yes, as long as it's not out of this cup.
I quit.
Let's go. I'm very excited.
Are you?
I am.
Good. You know I have to do that.
It's a cold, rainy day. There's nothing better than a tantalizing true crime tale.
Yes. Okay. Have you heard the
No.
name? This is going to be a long 8 pages. Have you heard the name Rosemary Christensen?
No.
Perfect.
I don't think so.
Okay. My sources today, thecharlieproject.com, WFLA.com, an article from the Tampa Bay Times, NBCnews.com, and episode 8 of season 2 of a show called Buried in the Backyard on Peacock. I actually wrote down what streaming service it was. 1, because I knew you'd do that. 2, because you're always like, what's that on? And I'm like, one of them, not cable.
know.
Like, so
I don't know how anyone just calls it peacock. It's peacock.
Yeah. Yes.
I just started something there. That's a snowball of joy.
Yes. And there's a ton of shows on this story too. But the one I wanted to watch was with my boyfriend, Keith Morrison, on Dateline, but they didn't have it for free. So
Were they buried in the backyard? Is that a requirement?
it would be weird if they were like, and then she froze to death in Antarctica. Yes, there is a burial of some sort.
I just want to make sure it was in the backyard.
Oh my God.
What?
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Okay, there's not a lot of history on Rosemary Christensen's childhood, but luckily her life as an adult was pretty interesting.
Okay.
I wrote, she was born on September 1st, 1955 in Australia. And I cannot do an Australian accent, but
I love
think
when
they're
you give me
very,
accents.
I think they're very hot. I can't do that one.
Get better.
Okay, I will. Rosemary ended up marrying a decorated diplomat of the Foreign Dutch Service. Now, did you know what a diplomat is? Because I did not. I thought it was a cheap motel.
No.
There is a cheap motel where I was born called the Diplomat.
Oh.
So that in my head, that's what I thought. I know it's not that, but that's the only version of.
I never knew that there was a shitty hotel called the Diplomat. So that's why I was trying to uncover the onion. That was that statement.
Yes. So I looked it up, and according to ChatGPT, a European diplomat is a government official who represents a European country in foreign affairs and international relations. Diplomats work in embassies, consulates, or international organizations, blah, blah, blah. They work on peace, trade between countries, negotiate, schmooze.
Got it.
Basically a high roller, and she was a prominent member of society on his arm. So she was super charming, and I'm going to show you a picture of her. And she was well-mannered, very put together, because obviously she had to be. That's her. She's adorable.
Yes.
Yes. And we'll post that picture too for those of you who aren't watching. And her husband and Rosemary, they had 2 sons together, and their names and ages weren't listed anywhere. And neither was her ex-husband. You can probably deep dive and find it. But for
what year is this?
She was, I'll get there in a second because we're going to cut to 1996. I'm just talking about her background.
Intriguing.
Right
okay.
Yeah, because they don't, so they were married for 20 years. And seemingly, she had the perfect life outside looking in. But she felt lonely because he traveled a lot, and she was really unhappy. She kind of, she was fulfilled being a mom, but then her kids were getting older, and she's like, well, what? I just write, either you're gone or I just have to be your trophy wife all the time.
Ah, poo.
Yeah. I know some people are like, oh, sad, but she really wanted, more out of life.
I'm sure.
So in 1996, she went online, initially just looking for companionship, and somehow she ended up meeting a man online who lived in Florida named Robert Temple.
She got online for companionship.
Mm-hmm.
That's like me being like, I got on Tinder for a hug. The fuck?
Yeah. You go to a brothel for a cuddle session?
Right.
Yeah.
I just want to be the little spoon this weekend. The fuck? The fuck?
I want to be the little spoon. Okay. Robert Glenn Temple was born in 1950. And again, there's not a ton of info on his childhood, but he won her over hard and fast. He told her, and there's going to be a lot of, you're going to be angry. I'm
already annoyed.
Yeah, but you're going to be annoyed. You're going to be angry. And I'm just warning you that it's a lot. Okay.
Great.
Yes. Like all my stories, I think, oh, this is going to make her mad.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for choosing him in that fashion.
Welcome. I got to do it for the show.
I know, but I do I'm going to tell you some weird shit. You're like, I'm going to do stuff that literally pisses you off and raises your blood pressure.
That's right.
Ugh.
Got to keep your heart healthy.
It's almost like our friendship.
Yep. He told Rosemary that he was a secret. First of all, he told her he was a secret FBI agent. So he had multiple homes in multiple cities and all this shit. First of all, you don't tell people I'm in the fucking secret.
I'm never believing that.
Right. Soon after, she decided to fly to Florida to meet him. And after they met one time, she was sold. She fell in love right then.
Got that big dick. Got that big dick.
And since her sons were in their late teens or early adulthood, she literally packed everything up, left her diplomat husband, and moved to Florida with Robert. Now, Robert was the complete opposite of what she was used to in her high roller life. Now, this is Robert. We'll post the pictures.
Let me hold this. Yes, they know we'll post the pictures, Heather, but let me get into this.
Okay, so
this is Rob. Do you have a photo of the other one? Of who she was with before?
No. There's no, you can't find his name. You can't find hardly anything.
Okay. So I need Jess to see. I need you to see, Jess.
So this guy.
I think this is going to paint a better picture.
He had blonde hair, like a Florida tan.
Blonde hair.
Yeah, like white blonde.
White blonde.
He had a Florida tan. He had tattoos. He rode a motorcycle. And a couple of the stories were called Rosemary and the Motorcycle Man. Definitely a change of pace. than what she's used to.
That is a pace, yes.
Right. They decided to get married in 1997, and her friend said that she was head over heels for him. Now, her sons would come to visit her from time to time, but she was officially done with her ex-husband. They split, and they were mutually cordial for the kids, but that's about it. Now, cut to August 1999. Rosemary was thriving in Florida. Like, she had a real estate career. She was a real estate agent in Bel Air, Florida, right outside of Tampa. They lived in a really nice condo there. And the realtor group she worked for was super popular. And she had a ton of friends. And they were all interviewed on the show that I watched. The owner of the group was like, he used to host get-togethers and everything for them, and Rosemary was the planner, like cookouts and team building shit, and they all loved it, but she was always the first one there, the first one to leave, and like very involved in all that stuff.
Quick question. Mm-hmm. So she just leaves her husband, and the diplomat's like, okay.
Yep.
Man, it feels like a Hallmark movie.
Right.
Where the ex is like, you know what, this is fine.
You know what? You're good.
That's cool. I'd
Right.
be like, what the fuck? Well, he's a diplomat. He got that money. Okay.
Right.
I'm just like, oh, they just left and nothing else? Okay.
Right. She just
starts
packed
a new
up
life.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so she loved the parties that they had, and she never missed one. And on Friday afternoon, she left work, and she was like, hey, I'm going to come back by and grab the potato salad for the cookout for the next day. And she never showed. And they called her work best friend, and they were like, what, did she come by and get it? And she's like, oh, no, she probably got busy. It's fine.
Quick question, one more time. One more. Was cocaine anywhere in your storyline?
No.
I call bullshit. That photo
Of him?
there ain't no way he wasn't a little snow bunny.
I
think snow bunny means something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he liked that nose candy.
There we go.
For sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I just feel like they like snorted coke off of strippers' asses and stuff.
Well, she was very prim, proper, put together, and he was.
And I know, but how would he be into prim and proper if he looked like he kind of smelled?
Let me tell you.
Okay.
Okay. So she never showed up, and remember, it's 1999, so she could. It's not like if somebody's like, "Where's Brooklyn?" I'm like, "Hang on, I'll push a button and look at your location." Like,
creepy.
Yeah.
They just disappeared.
Right. And Saturday morning, she never showed up to help set up the party, which again, that never happened. And they kept calling her, and she didn't answer, and they knew something was wrong. Now, when she never showed at all, and her coworkers were like, maybe she left this life behind too. I mean, she's done it before. Like maybe she just up and left. They didn't know what happened. The next day, they went to her condo, and nobody answered the door, and they couldn't see inside. Her car was there, and Robert's motorcycle was there, so they called the police. And they went inside, and no one was home. They found a note from Robert saying, oh, it was a sweet note, and he said he'd gone to visit relatives in Indiana, and he'd be back in a few days. So just leaving a note. The cops were like, well, I mean, there's nothing we can do. At this, like, we can't do anything. So 2 days passed, no Rosemary. Her friends started putting up posters. Her husband hadn't been seen in days, and even the local news media picked up the story. All of a sudden, Robert shows back up, and he's freaking out, wondering where his wife is. He comes back for visiting his relatives.
Right.
The police questioned him, and he was very upset, sad, distraught, like acting like a worried husband. He even went on the news and was crying, saying that he just wants her back, and they haven't been apart in this long, and their 3-year relationship. He begged people and begged her to come home, and I listened to it, and you can barely understand him because he's like crying.
Did you believe it?
On the news. Initially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, based on everything and the way you've done this, I'm assuming that he is the murderer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't bury the lead, but he played the...
No, but good.
Yeah.
Congratulations on his effort to look like the bereaved husband.
If somebody just played me the video, which you guys can look up online, but if somebody played that for me and I didn't know any context to it, I'd be like, man, he's sad.
Oh.
Yeah. And after he told the police about going to see his relatives, he said, well, he's sure that she ran away from him, but there's a simple explanation.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Robert told them that he and Rosemary were swingers and that she had probably run off with someone that she'd fucked with online. So, what? So he's saying that
Dude, I can totally... Hey, that's the reason why you shouldn't be swinging. You don't know if someone's going to hop on a swing set.
The ex-diplomats, or the ex-wife of a diplomat.
Wow, painful, yeah.
Yes. The ex-wife of a diplomat, now who literally wears like pantyhose with her shorts and like nails done, always put together. They're saying that, not saying that you can't be like that, but
100%.
it was 123% unlikely. Her friends were pissed. Like they asked her friends and they were like, no, there's no way. Like even her best friend was like, no, like there's no way.
I don't understand why everyone was like so quick to say no, she wouldn't, when she literally met a guy online,
Right.
flew there, ended a 20-year marriage,
Right.
with a guy that she met one fucking time.
Right.
So,
Right.
I guarantee none of her friends would have thought that she would have left her husband for a fucking swinger in Florida, and she did it.
Right.
So it's like, you don't know.
That's what I said. Like, that was my next line. I mean, this is plausible, like that she would meet people online and do that, like in the privacy of her own home, and then have the prim and proper exterior. So I said it's like a personality mullet. It's like business at the front, party in the back.
Who knows?
Like who knows? And Robert said that she might have ran back to Australia too because she had threatened to do it before. And either way, she's gone without a trace. Now, her old boss, Jeff, wasn't buying any of this. And he actually hired a private investigator to look into all this, named Richard Price. Richard said that Rosemary's cell phone was found in the condo. And any realtor friend that I know and have, even back in 1999 when they were just becoming popular, like that was her lifeline, and she never went anywhere without her cell phone, and it was just sitting on the counter. So she ran away. She left her phone.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Right. He also said that there was carpet missing in a random spot in the bedroom, and then there was new paint spots on the wall. Richard also found a note that was a list of items that could be used to clean up a murder. When the police were like, hey, Robert, what the fuck is all this stuff? He's like, oh, I was like taking out my anxiety and rage. So I just cleaned to get my mind off of everything. And oh, the carpet, it had to be removed because Rosemary had tripped and fallen and busted her knee open, and we couldn't get the blood out of the carpet. Right.
Way to bring up blood
Right.
on carpet.
Yeah. Because they're just, and it was like, it wasn't like hardwood carpet that covered like a nice hardwood floor. It was literally like concrete. So like, it's not like they were testing it. I don't know. It was just, anyway.
What do you mean? Sorry, I'm
like,
trying
you know
to
how
understand what you're
sometimes in older houses, they're like, we ripped up the carpet and we could refinish this hardwood floor. No, it was just like concrete underneath the carpet. So he couldn't even use that. He was like, she skinned her knee.
saying. So he didn't replace the carpet?
No,
was
there
just
was
ripped
it
up
was
carpet.
cut out.
Just one hole?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Holy fuck.
that's what I'm saying.
And
he's like, she skinned her knee. How bad did you skin your knee?
I'm also amazed that he was like, best way to solve this. Just cut a square out. Cut a fucking square out.
Not just
I
rip
feel
it all
like-
out and be like, we're changing it.
Yes. Be like, we were upgrading this look. Don't you feel like this is very 1985?
Right.
Oh.
Oh, I know. And the police were getting frustrated because all his explanations they thought were bullshit, but they just might sway one juror. So they were like, we don't have anything tying him to that. And it's just plausible enough to where he can explain it away, even though it sounds ridiculous.
Yep.
We
Has to
can't
be without a
prove
doubt.
it. Yeah. And they think it would do doubt, and they didn't have any direct evidence at all. So they had to keep looking. So weeks went by, and it's so sad. Still no Rosemary. Investigators never found any evidence, by the way, and they investigated the swinger story hard. And people were calling saying, we think we saw her at this swingers club and this, but it was just people that looked like her. They checked the cameras. There was no evidence that she was a swinger.
Dang, I didn't realize there was so much of a swinger community to dig through.
Yeah, hey Tampa.
It was like, so we had to go to all these swingers clubs.
Could
We were
you
like
imagine?
6 different
Like that, like you're like, what'd you do today? I got 2 meetings.
I would be lying to you if I didn't know a shit ton about swingers. Not because I've ever swung. But in Florida, it really was a thing. And I've had friends who have attended a lot of the sex parties. I mean,
hey, there's an ass for every chair.
Swinger
away.
cruises, those were crazy. Like they take your phone, like
You do know a lot
I
about
know
it.
a ton about swinging.
To not participate in it, you are very knowledgeable.
I am. It's because it's tantalizing as fuck, and people have experienced it. Are like, let me tell you, and I'm like, bitch, spill the tea.
Oh yeah, you literally
feel
picked up your tea when you did.
I feel like, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
So
it's
anyway,
wild.
I'm very interested in learning about all walks of life. It doesn't mean I have to participate. So I would sit down and have a 3-hour conversation with a couple.
12. It's worth a 12
Right.
conversation.
So
Wonderboy Media is not only the proud producer of this glorious magic employing your ear holes right now, but they're also a big deal.
Get in touch with them today to make all of your dreams a freaking reality.
From using their bangin' ass podcast studio,
where we are right now,
to creating amazing videos and editing our content like the mystical mavericks they are.
Your podcast can go further when you have a Wonder Boy.
Hit up Drew today at WBOYmedia.com.
Or text him day or night at 270.
Just kidding.
Get ready, outdoor enthusiasts. The Western Kentucky Outdoor Expo is coming to Owensboro Convention Center on April 12th and 13th. Explore RVs, boats, hunting gear, side-by-sides, and more, all in one place. And best of all, it's free. Don't miss this ultimate outdoor adventure. Learn more at westernkyoutdoorexpo.com or follow us on Facebook. We'll see you there.
They proved that she was not a swinger. They couldn't find any evidence of that. The PI found out that Robert, secret FBI, quote unquote, Robert, had been charged and convicted in 1975 in his previous relationship in the death of an 18-month-old child in California. His girlfriend's child died from brain injuries after being beaten.
Fuck him.
Yeah. And he pled guilty. This is also going to make you mad. He only got 5 years in prison for involuntary manslaughter.
What did he do? Act like he fell or something?
He was like, I didn't do it, but it was, he explained it away.
Interesting 70s jury choices and shit.
Her friends and coworkers all thought he did it and were telling the cops about, all of a sudden they were like, well, they all were saying he did it to figure out how he did it, connect him to that because he had raging jealousy. Like, say you and I went to lunch, he would, and then like if your husband Travis would just show up, like we had lunch today.
Oh my gosh.
And he would just show up out of nowhere and sit down with us. Or he would call you 12 times while you're at lunch to want to know who you're with. He, like all the time, he was super controlling. Like that would be so...
I just finished a book this morning that's what he would never let, as soon as they got married, he was like, right. I'm going to torture you for the rest of your life, basically. And that's what he would do. He would show up to anything and everything.
God, I would hate that. I don't think I could be, like, I was thinking about her friends. I was like, that would be so frustrating as a friend to be like, we can't just have lunch because your husband's so jealous. He just comes every time we go anywhere.
I don't know how long I would take paying it. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to say I'm like obnoxious, but I'd probably be like, do you need fucking help? Like, do we need to kill him? No, I'm kidding. But I'd be like, like, should we call someone and like move you the fuck out? Like, I want to see your arms and your thighs. I want to see if he's beating you in other areas. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Well, he would even, like, so realtors show properties. Every time she would go show a property, if she didn't pick up her phone, he would call her office and want to know exactly who was there and if they knew what people were going, like.
My gosh, no way.
Just a lot. And her friends were like, what is this? Like you said, like, what is this? And she's like, no, you guys just don't understand. And that's all she would say. And they couldn't press her. And they were like, even her friend on the show was like, most women would not put up with this.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you why here in a little bit.
I was going to say, I would think though, if like she thought he was, obviously not in this case, but like out of her league or something, like if she thought she could never find love again, if he had broken her down so much that she thought she wasn't worthy of anything more.
Yeah,
like there's a lot of psychological issues that come behind that, but I'm very curious in this case. So I'll shut up and let you tell me.
Well, and then they'd also found up that he'd been arrested before for beating up Rosemary before they even got married, and she dropped the charges. So Robert, Mr. Storyteller, said he was drunk and tripped coming up the stairs. He fell into the door slammed into her face. And she dropped the charges for that, which is, if you're being assaulted, please get help somehow. Like that's the bottom line.
I mean,
bottom line.
Oh man.
If you're being assaulted, get help somehow.
Like don't marry him.
Right.
First step, probably don't get married. Second step, at least they got that far to where there's a record of it.
Right. Okay. And then the police also found out that a few times she had just not showed up for like meetings at work, just a couple times. She had been beaten up and she didn't want people to see her injuries. And he would send flowers, and even to the point where it started happening so often that her coworkers would be like, well, he hit her again. She got flowers.
And
yeah, I get it.
Oh, it just sucks so much because there's nothing you can, like, what can you really do?
They tried to talk to her.
Call the cops and be like, go to their house every single day because one day he's going to hit her.
Right. And yeah, but then he did the whole,
Yep.
I explained it away. I'll never do it again. All that stuff. Before Rosemary went missing, she found out that Robert had a girlfriend on the side. And this is what pushed her over the edge. Rosemary. Robert worked at a call center for psychics and sex operators. Phone
sec. Man, I'm bored tonight. I'm going to get some phone sec.
I'm done with her. You know what? I do that to you all the time. I will bend over and take it. Probably what they called to talk about. Okay, so he worked at a call center for psychics and phone sex operators.
I do want to say if Travis was gonna be a call center employee in any capacity, I'd be like, please don't do it with people who are just turning themselves on by talking on them.
Or they want to know their future.
Put it right there. Put it right there.
Oh, Jess,
like
please
that?
isolate that. Isolate that audio, and I'm going to sell it online. Okay, but listen to me.
I'm listening.
Okay, so first of all, I think that's an interesting mixture.
I think it's perfect.
I mean, it wouldn't be a boring job.
No, you're right.
Leslie Stewart was her name, and she was a married mother of a toddler and only 22 at the time, and Robert was 49.
Woo! And he looked every bit of 49.
Oh, yeah, and he didn't.
Every bit. He looked like he did not put SPF on.
Right.
And he did not drink enough water.
Right. Rosemary was so pissed when she found out that she busted up into their work, and Leslie hid under a desk. What
the fuck?
She was like, oh, Rosemary went in there like, leave my husband alone, da-da-da, and she hid under the desk, and she couldn't find her. She was just yelling at him, and she was looking for her. Yeah, this is when Rosemary started finally getting her backbone. She's like, you know what? I don't need this. Like, I'm going to stand up for myself. Like, I'm done with this. And she went to see a divorce attorney. And her lawyer was like, I will help you leave him, but you need to wait 2 more months, because she wanted to be an American citizen. So she was sticking it out so she could become an American citizen and then leave him.
Interesting.
Because she wasn't a citizen yet.
It's interesting, the straw that broke the camel's back in this case. It wasn't being beaten. It was the woman on the side. And then in other cases, it's not the woman on the side. It's getting beaten. It's just like,
it is
all of that fucking sucks.
Yeah. And then to feel like, I tried to think when I was writing this, like how she has to feel, because she's like, look, I'm getting abused.
Yeah.
I left my sons behind. I left the life out, and now I'm with this piece of shit.
Just because I was bored, essentially.
Right.
We don't know that for a fact, but it feels like she was bored and lonely.
And then she was thriving in her work, and then when she'd go home, her life was shit. And she told her best friend, she's like, I'm going to walk on eggshells for 2 more months. He doesn't know.
I'm not
going to tell him. I can wait 2 more months. I'm going to put up with this shit. I'm going to throw myself into work, and 2 more months, and I can live here. Like, I can live in the U.S. without him. Robert was still claiming his innocence this whole time and saying he was like, I'll take a lie detector test. I didn't do this. Well, they were like, all right, well, can you come in Tuesday at 5? And his lawyer called him back and was like, he's not doing that. So he had gotten a lawyer and said no. For months, her friends were so mad and helpless. Like, they were staking out his condo. Her best friend was sitting.
The fuck yeah.
Right? And that's what I said.
Believe it. Me and Jess, coffee, some Spanos, which are caffeine pills, Jesse Spano.
Yeah.
And be in a car with Binocs, man.
Right. They literally would take turns sitting outside of his condo, like, we're going to catch you somehow because we know you did it and we can't prove it, and it's pissing us off.
Yeah. Fuck.
And so one day, I should have written down her name, but her work best friend was sitting out there, and she saw a moving truck pull up, and Robert and Leslie, the 22-year-old, left town. And then she was like, ah! So she sees them moving all this shit in there. So she follows them. She calls the cops. And she's like, oh my God, they're leaving. The cops were like, we can't do anything.
Okay, well, I'm going to shoot him then.
I know. Well, she literally...
just so you know, I'm about to murder them. Stop this murder.
She was on the show, and she was like, it was so frustrating because I was like, there they go, and I can't follow them. And it's 1999. So it's not like they're going to check in on Facebook. Look, we're at the St. Louis Arch. Yeah. So,
Did she just follow him? I would just follow him.
Yeah, she... didn't, but that's what I said. Imagine thinking that if I thought that Travis killed you and I was watching him leave with a 22-year-old
little fucking cunt, I'm already pissed off.
Right, okay.
Ooh. Shit better not happen.
Editor's note, that did not happen and will not happen. But I'm just saying that just the thought of me putting myself in the situation.
I'm curious though. If you called the cops and said you were going to murder someone in that scenario, the cops would have to come, right? But would you go to jail for that?
you could get threatened. I think it's against the law to threaten someone with death.
But you didn't threaten them. You told the cops. They don't know.
I don't know.
I'm just curious if that would have been a solution. To be like, well, I'm going to go kill them.
And then they would arrest you and it wouldn't solve anything, I think. I don't think. Anyways, don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. I was just curious.
I don't know. That's a valid
Right?
point.
Be like,
Yeah.
okay, well, you should probably stop them because the second they get out of their vehicle, I'm going to kill them. So you can stop both of us. I don't know. If the cops aren't paying attention,
I'm going to chain myself to their bumper.
Right. They are
what
a
I would
tree
do.
in the rainforest and no one is chopping it
Right.
down.
I would lay in an X on their dashboard. On their hood, not their dashboard. I wouldn't fit on the dashboard.
Like, how are you?
Maybe they drive.
Just, I'm going to throw my calf on their dashboard and they are not going anywhere.
You ain't leaving anywhere. Calves of steel right here. Turn that fucking car off.
Act like you're one of those little locks on the wheel.
The club, what were they called?
I don't know.
Club. Shit.
I've never used one because I've never lived in
The
a place.
club. That's what they were called.
That's what they were? The club that,
Yeah.
to prevent your car from getting stolen?
Yeah.
Does that thing still work? Is that still
I don't know. We're squirreling. We're squirreling.
Digressing.
Okay. So they leave.
Yes.
Okay. Apparently, his girlfriend Leslie and him were in fact swingers as well. Like, this is a proven fact. So Robert was talking about his own life, not his wife's. His wife didn't know about that part. And the cops didn't know about him either, or her either. They just knew that they went on a road trip. So he was trying to say that she went to Indiana with them or whatever. Whenever they put the pieces together about Leslie.
Oh.
Leslie and Robert, when they left town, they went across country with her son, and they were taking odd jobs, and then they ended up just falling off the face of the earth, and the case went cold. For 9 years.
Oh my God, I'm annoyed.
Right. Later, 9 years later, August 2008.
2008. Sorry.
A Tampa reporter got a call from his friend who was a lawyer named Jay Hebert. Now, Jay, the lawyer, had met Leslie Stewart before they left town, and his hands were tied because of client-attorney privilege. So he tried to get her to go to the police because she told him a story. And she said she was scared for his life, and she went back to Robert. And then
She was scared for his life?
for hers and her son's. When they ran off, Leslie and Robert ended up in Redding, California, and then they had a baby girl within those 9 years. Now, Robert kept up and escalated his controlling and abusive behavior with her and with Leslie, and she kind of started feeling hopeless. He would threaten her that he would kill the kids, make her watch, then kill her, and then himself. So she was terrified. Like, he pulled a knife on her and stuff like that. So August 2008, when she somehow convinced Robert to let her go alone to a family reunion in Washington State without him, she called Jay the second she got out, like far enough away, the lawyer, because she had met him before, as the only person she trusted. And he and the police immediately had her flown back to Florida while she was gone. So she finally told him yeah, go ahead. You can tell everybody the whole story. And remember, he called a reporter. So that goes immediately to the cops and the police. So on that Friday night that Rosemary went missing, she'd gotten a ton of phone calls from Robert. Leslie got a ton of phone calls from Robert being like, come over. I need your help. She finally did. After having some wine and talking in the living room, Robert led Leslie into the bedroom and she saw Rosemary lying on the floor. Robert said it was an accident. Robert, he said Rosemary had kept a knife by the bed and they'd got into it, and for some reason she came up behind him and poked him in the back of the head with it. I don't get it.
The description of poked him in the back of the head with it?
Yeah. Like, I don't know what. Yeah. I don't get it.
That makes no fucking sense.
A lot of yes. Yeah.
No, the biggest issue I have right now is getting poked in the back of the head with a knife.
Yeah. So there was a struggle, and he said somehow
How is there even a struggle?
Says-
I just got poked in the back of the
They
head.
were arguing, and I guess he
I
turned.
know. I
Yeah,
can't.
I get it.
I can't.
And then, so
that's a lame description.
every lie he says is lame.
I know, but I'm just saying, if I was going to act like there was a real fight and give like a good storyline, I would not start it off with like, it was self-defense. I got poked in the back of the head with a fucking knife.
Right.
I'd be like, she tried to cut me. Or then like, she almost got me and I ducked out of the way and I blah.
So he said there was a struggle and somehow
Fucking
she
A.
fell on that knife.
Fell on the fucking knife.
Here, this is the horseshit part. She was stabbed multiple times. So it's not like you can fall onto a knife 5 times. Okay. Robert told 22-year-old Leslie that no one would believe it was an accident. She
I
had to
wonder
help
why.
him. He's like, no one's going to believe that this is an accident. You have to help me. And she helped him. Leslie said that she helped him clean up, and then they planned out their story. Like the swinger story that they were saying that was her and all that stuff. They packed up some of her things, like she had just skipped town, and then they went to multiple dumpsters and threw it out so it wouldn't look like they spread out. She had helped him. God, I hate this. She had helped him put Rosemary into a large plastic bin, and they went to Leslie's father's property in northern Florida.
So she, even though she could tell that this woman was brutally attacked,
right?
She still did this.
Yeah, she's not saying she's innocent. I'm not saying she is at all, but
I'm just, I do not understand. You have a young child.
Got it.
And you see that like a dude murdered somebody and you're like, oh, I'll hide it.
Right.
Come on.
Right. And she said that Leslie's dad didn't know what they were doing out there, and he had no idea that they were burying a body on his property.
My goodness.
And it was like a swampy area close to like a river in northern Florida. Now, Leslie was like, look, I was young, naive, and easily influenced to keep that secret all those years, but she hit her breaking point and started planning her escape. I'm retelling.
I understand. Well, I'm obviously not being like, Heather, you're bullshit.
No, I know. I'm
like,
saying
this
that.
is dumb.
I'm saying it for the listeners. Like,
stupid.
This is me just repeating words because I agree with you.
My gosh.
Now, Robert was finally arrested after she told the story and flown back to Florida to face the music. He, shockingly, had a different story. Yeah, get ready. So, of course, he didn't do it. He was helping Leslie. It wasn't his fault. It was Leslie's fault.
Right, because a 22-year-old woman had such the idea.
Right.
I highly doubt she was madly in love with his fucking wrinkly dick. his sunspots.
I hate that I pictured a spotty penis when you said that.
I did not.
Well, now you are.
Yeah. Like a cow dick. Right? Dalmatian dick.
I'm done with you. I quit. Okay. Robert said that he was supposed to meet Leslie at his condo that night. And so when he got home, Leslie was walking outside. And then he went in and he was like, she was white as a ghost. And then when he went in, he found Rosemary on the bedroom floor. He said Rosemary had come home unexpectedly and Leslie was waiting inside their condo without him. And Rosemary lost her shit because remember, she had seen her. And then Robert was like, Rosemary and Leslie got in a wild fight and Rosemary accidentally fell on a hunting knife.
This accidentally falling on knives, man.
Right.
I just
You trip all the time and you've never fallen on a knife before.
And I've literally held knives while tripping. But there's a stupid rug mat thing in my kitchen that has fucked me up more than once. But all I have to say is like, we're not trying here. We are not.
She was stabbed 5 times.
Trying here.
Right.
Like, I don't know if you're just that stupid that you don't even like stop to try to like act like someone wasn't running into the punches. Like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Right. He said, Robert was like, well, I didn't call the cops because Leslie was like, no one's going to believe you. They're going to think you did it because you're past. No one's going to believe you that I did it. They're going to think you did it. And I'll tell them you did it. Like, basically, he was like, she manipulated the whole situation.
What was her past that would make them think
his past because of the
I was like,
child
what?
that he
killed.
So this motherfucker, like, okay, I was listening to him tell this actual story. Like, I had to listen to audio clips, and if you guys want to listen to it, you can, but it's going to make you angry, especially
No, it doesn't matter if he goes to jail.
Yeah, but it's just hearing it made my blood boil just because.
Stupid fucks.
Listen, so he said he did this with grief in his heart and reluctantly. And this is a quote. And he pauses for tears and everything in this. I hate him. He said, I bought the biggest plastic tub that I could think of to put her in because I decided that if we were going to bury her, I'm not just going to throw dirt on her or anything like that. I was going to try and make it as nice as I could. I wanted to make it dignified.
A fucking I'd rather be in soil than in a Lowe's Christmas storage container.
It's so sad. And that's literally what they did. He put her in one. And he rambles on for, I quit typing because I was like, I'll put this quote in there. And then he goes on for like 5 more minutes. He's crying. He's saying he put her favorite decorative pillow in there. And he wanted to make it
hit him in the
nice.
face.
And he acted like, oh, I did all this for her.
Like he dignified the experience for her.
I wanted to make it nice for her. He also said that when Leslie was driving and he got in the passenger seat. So Leslie, you know, was the quote unquote mastermind of all this, right? And Robert wanted to bury Rosemary, do one final thing for her and bury her in her favorite spot in the woods in Georgia. But then he said, well, I fell asleep and then I woke up and she had detoured and went to her dad's house. And they wanted to keep him in the dark. So Leslie and her dad buried her. They didn't want him to snitch on him.
Oh my geez, Louise.
So not only, he's like, God, they didn't want me to know where she's at, so I didn't even get to say goodbye. First of all, fuck you. But like he said, so not only is he blaming all of this on his mistress, now he's bringing her dad into it too.
How spicy.
Right?
Man, the lack of like...
Oh, it gets better.
And they had 9 years. Like, all I gotta say here is like you were lucky enough to get away with it for the amount of time that you did, and then she ended up like obviously,
yeah,
she's the one going and sharing the information,
right?
So in that case, automatically, I would believe that she was the one telling the truth,
right?
Just off of the fact that they essentially got away with it,
right?
But you're telling me he had 9 motherfucking years,
and that's what he
to
said.
Figure out how he was going to turn it on her, because that's the number one thing he had to have done,
right?
Like, and that's what you came up with, dude. Right. Read some good books by some of my favorite authors, and they will give you some twists and turns that can really make your story work.
Right.
Because that is dumb.
Oh, yeah. Oh, get this, because this would make you mad too. So he's in jail waiting for trial, right? Robert is. He's doing all these interviews and going on his soapbox, like professing his, like, I was just helping Leslie. And he was quoted saying, you couldn't give me 1,000 Leslies I would trade 1,000 Leslies for one Rosemary. First of all, you killed her. So shut up. Right.
What do we know why he killed her? Was it to be with Leslie? Because he could have just left her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm
like, you have like 3 sentences left. So I did not think that it was in those notes.
Yeah. Okay. So Robert in jail spewing all this bullshit, right? He starts sending letters from jail to everyone, to news people, the lawyers. He started sending letters to her friends with this story. Like, could you imagine that you thought Will killed me? Then he starts sending you letters for me saying that he didn't do it, even though you know deep down he did it. Like, it's just the infuriating part. Like, I was reading that, I was like, I would fly off the handle. And they're already dealing with the death of their friend, and it's like,
see, that's the shit that would really. I'm all like, be the better person, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go see you in jail,
right?
I'm gonna remember everything that's gonna piss you off, and I'm gonna say it in great detail, and I'm gonna visit you every fucking week. Like, I would be vindictive.
Yeah,
it would turn me from who I am as a human being with my current sheet and aura colors, and it would turn me into a filthy shade of gray.
Right.
You're right. Fuck them, stupid fucks.
So
him, not them.
Right. And so at this point, it's his story against hers. But Leslie agreed to testify against Robert in his trial in exchange for full immunity.
Full fucking immunity?
They didn't have anything to tie him, so they had to. I get it, because that sucks. That sucks. But that's the only way they could put, it's sometimes they have to trade.
Is that how that works?
For justice? I know, because I thought about. I've had.
That's such bullshit.
See, I reacted like you do, but I've also had time to process.
So dumb, though. I mean, I totally get it.
Yeah,
but she doesn't deserve it,
right? And in 2008, he went to trial, and Robert found out that Leslie was testifying against him, and so he's like, "Oh, I'm going to be my own attorney." You know how that always goes. Terribly. So like,
oh my God, there's nothing more tantalizing. I swear to you, there's nothing more tantalizing when someone decides to be their own attorney,
right? That
has no qualification to be said attorney.
I know, he was like, I'll show you. She's testifying. I'm going to represent myself with your
perfection.
No years of law school. Go ahead.
Do it.
I'd be like, yeah, that's
they don't even have the internet, so they couldn't even ask ChatGPT or Al how the fuck to be an attorney.
This was 2008, so they had the internet. They didn't have ChatGPT.
Well, he still doesn't know.
They had Ask Jeeves, I think. I don't remember
when did
Google came out.
smartphones come in?
I don't know. I don't remember.
don't
Okay.
either.
So obviously his plan didn't work and he was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. He only ended up serving 10 years though because he died in 2018. Now, the theory behind that was her friends and her boss think that she must have alluded to the fact that she was going to leave him and he lost his shit. That's what they think. That she didn't keep.
Why would it matter though?
Because he didn't want her. He wanted to control everything she did, and she was starting to get more independent. And
I know, but it doesn't seem like he wasn't fully obsessed with her. Like it didn't seem like he needed her. He was fucking other women. It doesn't seem like he needed her money.
They say
It just seems like a lame excuse.
I didn't dive into that, but he was very like he looked at her as more of a I love this object, sadly, as opposed to like this is my wife, who she was. Everyone loved her. Like they still to this day like have anniversaries and go have a toast to her, and this was years and years ago. So she impacted a lot of lives, and she was only in Florida for 3 years. So.
Man.
And that's the sad story, the murder of Rosemary Christensen at the hands of her piece of shit husband, Robert Glenn Temple.
That's stupid.
Yeah. It's sad.
It is sad.
And then her boys had
but also stupid.
And her boys had to come testify, and they were living over in, I think, Holland. And then they were like, my mom's gone. And then so before, when they said your mom's missing, they fly over and they're trying to figure out where their mom is. And then they had to leave without knowing where their mom was. And they were like, she didn't leave us. Something bad happened to her because they had a close relationship even though she left. So, I mean, they weren't really keen on him, but anyway.
Well, fuck. Lame excuses, man.
The reason why I picked that story is because I'm like, the stories he told, they were dumb, but not.
She poked me in the back of the head with a knife.
Right.
The fuck?
Right.
Mm-hmm. I swear to you, somebody fucking poked me in the back of the head with a knife. I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? You stupid fucking fuck. That was dumb. Go away.
I'd be like,
I would laugh and then go hit him in the face.
I would probably flick him in the nose or the forehead just to be annoying.
I'll poke him in the forehead. Like,
no,
this
like
is a poke.
This is more annoying.
I don't. I'll flick a finger. I swear.
Or flick somebody in the back of the ear.
A fucking finger.
We used to do that. Flick people in the back of the ear.
I apparently have a lot of aggression.
But
do. I am not gonna.
All that green tea going straight to your head. Calm down, Hulk.
It's like, I would fucking do.
I would. I've been aggressive my whole life, so none of that is shocking.
That is very accurate.
I'm just saying, that's just so dumb. Mm-hmm. And the fact that she got immunity is frustrating as shit, but at least they put him away, even though he barely got any jail time because he was aging out of the system of life already.
Oh, and he did not age well.
Dude, he didn't age.
No, but it goes way downhill.
I want to know what her husband looked like before.
Yeah, I couldn't even find his name. I only saw.
Seems so depressing.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had himself expunged from everything.
Right.
If I was him.
Right. Yeah. And his kids' names were redacted. So I couldn't even figure out. It just said teens or early adulthood whenever she moved. So.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for that.
I know.
Pokey story.
Got you all fired up.
I'm glad he went to jail.
Yeah. Piece of shit.
Mm-hmm. Like, rate, review, subscribe.
That's right.
If you're in the Kentucky area, don't forget, come to our live event on February 16th. That's at the River Park Center. And then don't forget as well, if you're into outdoor shit, the Western Kentucky Outdoor Expo. She'd be ratching right around April 12th and 13th too, because things are happening.
We're making moves.
We sure are.
That's
Remember,
right.
Don't get mad.
Get sassy.
We love you. Bye.
Bye.
This episode was sponsored, edited, and produced by Wonderboy Media. Get the deets at WBOYmedia.com to see how you can make your podcast dreams a reality.
Help us out and be sure to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to our audio project. Don't forget, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at, of course, A Couple of Sassholes.
Want more sass? Become a member of our Patreon for bonus content, merch, and more. Plus, we're on Cameo now, so there's even more ways to get the sass you need just how you like it. As always, don't get mad.
Get sassy.
Theodore, can I bet that